Hello and welcome to our next session of Project Engineering Management. I'm your course instructor Mosam Gandhi, and today we'll be talking about project engineering documents and drawings. So it will cover process flow sheets, mechanical flow sheets, then index, loop piling diagram, panel drawings and specifications, then instrumentation, plot plans and installation detail. Some spatial drawings will see in very quick idea, and purchase requisition. So let us start with our flow sheets, process flow sheet. So process flow sheets are actually known in the various names like process flow chart, flow sheets, flow diagram. Professionally, people identify in short name as PFD, process flow diagram. Block flow diagram or schematic flow views or macro flow chart or top-down approach flow chart, etc. So, what is exactly flow chart? Process flow charts are like they are illustrating the relationship between the major components or the different instruments in an industrial plant. Basically, most of the time it is used for the chemical engineering and process engineering where complicated plant layouts are there. Then it is useful to document a process, like usually we narrate in terms of text or wordings, etc. But here it will be a visual flow or visual diagram which may be prepared manually or with the help of software. It is consisting of so many symbols and notations, so definitely we need to use standardization for this kind of making flow sheet. So this is one of the first step, elementary step before going ahead for creating the documentation of the entire plan. And it may be simple or say hand-drawn ideas, like as I told earlier, or in form of sticky notes, or say diagrams with prepared with the software. So see here, this is one of the examples where compressor turbine and tank and everything is shown, but it is in very visual manner where not much details are given, and the dotted line shows the temporary connection. So it will be consist of piping, process piping, connections with the other system, major equipment, like here you saw the turbine and tank and going to the other process, major bypass and recirculation systems, operational data and process stream names. So it is for the understanding, training and quality control purpose, and it shows the necessary steps, bottlenecks or other inefficiencies where we need to take care from the very first step while creating the document. And it is useful to communicate and collaborate among the different diagrams where we can establish certain roles in the organization. So here another closed loop indirect system I am showing where the storage tank and heat exchanger there, and that solar collector and everything is here shown. So here you see like lot of symbols are used, and the manual names are given, but there is no technical diagram, but valves are shown, open valve, closed valve, bypass, and certain colors are utilized here for the system. Another example of this crude oil filtration plant. So here you see that cold preheat train to impulse bank devices, and then desalter, and then it is going to the crude furnace, and another cycle, water cycle, is also shown there. So this is how flow sheet is shown. Here I am referring these two websites. The one is smartgrow.com and another is lucidheart.com, where you can use the free trial for making such kind of flow diagrams as an instrument engineer. If you are in actually internship or training, you can utilize this. Next will be mechanical flow sheets. So mechanical flow sheets will have more detailing compared to PFD. Then mechanical flow sheet is also known as P&ID, process and instrument diagram, and it is actually developed from the PFD diagram only, and often it is referred as Bible of the design process. So it is giving you a very specific design criteria and entire layout of pipe drafter that you can get from this mechanical flow sheet. Here you see a very complicated diagram I am showing you, and basically it takes a lot of information here within that. So this is the showing exact sequence of all mechanical equipment, valve, instrumentations or instruments, and connection to each process pipe routed through the facility. The detailed study you can get from here. That tmr-it-type-pj-blogspot.com, where a lot of technical details are given, and due to constraint of time I am skipping the all details, looking at the scope of the syllabus. So mechanical flow diagram, what does it include? In nutshell, you should remember that pipeline number with the direction, then pipe specification and line size. It should include all mechanical equipments. All operating and isolating valves, controlling instruments with the transmitting device, everything will be covered in the mechanical flow sheet. Some notations that you can here see, abbreviations and the symbols for the different types of valves. Then here you see different types of transmitters, and here you see specification for the different equipment. Then here you see like the shutdown valve relay or shutdown valve. So this everything is having certain standardized nomenclature that you should use every time when a professional mechanical flow sheet is prepared. So this you can avail that entire detail from the instrumentation toolbox.com and from where I have personally taken it. Another is abbreviation. Here we are using a lot of symbols in the bubble one, but there are a lot of abbreviations that you should utilize, standard abbreviations, while making this mechanical flow sheet. Another professional idea where these are the further symbols, that common valve symbols and combinations that you can get from here, that is Himre.com. They have developed for the training purpose, and they are showing the most common type of valve symbols here. Next will be instrument index. Here, obviously, when we say index, it means it will be giving you reference. When say if you talk about an index of book, so that index will tell you at what page what topic is printed or what topic will be available in the where in the book. So similarly, this instrument index will cover the reference of the entire layout, like combining that PF diagram or P&I diagram. Okay. So instrument index is a document. So it is a list of instruments that is staying within the plant, and it will include the take number of the field instrument, physical alarm system, indicator, pseudo instrument like the soft tech that we use the word, definitely in the DCS indications, alarm controller. And here instrumentationportal.com, they are providing an entire checklist of the index. Most of the items are covered, and what exactly instrument index should cover? Like these are, many items are given here, but in addition to this, there may be some other items also. Say starting the tag number, then loop number, type of instrument, location, service description, T&ID number. That T&ID number means that you are preparing a mechanical flow sheet where you have to give the number. Then line number or equipment number. Then in and out type, like whether it is input type instrument or we are taking readout IO type. Control systems enter the range and set point during the engineering unit use. Then applicable reference document like say instrument data sheet or hookup drawing number or say instrument layout number, loop drawing number, etc. Then package number, manufacturer and model number of that instrument. So this entire index is to be provided to the operator. Here I am showing you one example of instrument index. It's a large instrument sheet that I have taken a small part, and let us see the headings which we are covering for the sample purpose. So like say serial number, then tag number, then before employing here what was the old tag number if it's changed, like where it is in the service, or and then instrument type, whether it is transmitter or say measuring device or something. Then set point, the unit here set point is a 300 Pascal. Then signal type is 4 to 20 milliampere signal type. Then IO type, then IP rating, say IP67 protection we are using, and then another X category required, say where it is in zone 1, 2, 3 like that, and modeling and mounting of the device. So basically the purpose of instrument index is the preparing IO list by directly referring to the tag number, and further you can have deep searching, listing and filtering by tag number. So this makes easy, like which instrument is where in the service and what are the technical details and how to operate, like say signal type, range or set points are known directly from the instrument index. The next is loop wiring diagram. Loop wiring diagram is the most detailed one after mechanical flow sheet, and if loop wiring diagram, if we go beyond it, then only electrical schematic diagrams will be having details more than loop wiring diagram. Otherwise, loop wiring diagram is having the maximum detailing with it. So is actually prepared as per the ISA 5.1 standard. Field instruments are always placed on the left hand side, control panels are on the right hand side, and the text describing instrument tags, ranges are always placed at the bottom. I will show you one example of this diagram here. See this. So field process area, field panel, panel and panel front, and the tags and all specifications are placed at the bottom of this loop wiring diagram, where all these dotted lines are showing you the copper connection, and further enlarged one, there you here observe that certain downward arrow, somewhere upward arrow, some TDT42, FIC42, FT42, these all nomenclatures. Somewhere some different symbols are used. So dashed lines represent individual copper lines, as I say. Electrical terminals are presented with the squares in number with them. Then the fluid parts are presented with a labeled square, like say cable numbers, wire color, junction box. Even grounding points are also shown in the loop diagram. So as I said, it contains lot of details, like maximum details containing in the loop wiring diagram, and everything is covered, maximum covered in the loop wiring diagram, where I have shown one example here. Here you see downward and upward arrows. I am giving one small detail out of this loop wiring diagram. So a box and arrow pointing up or down, okay, in each bubble. So if it is upward arrow, so it shows that output signal increases with the input stimulus increase. Like if you increase the input, output will increase. That way it shows the up arrow. And if the arrow is down, so here we can say with the input stimulus, output signal will decrease. Next is panel drawing and specification. So obviously we see panels like they are the control panels where different remote operations can be possible from the control room area. So it always begins with the evolution of the specification, requirement and regulatory standard. And the drawings are first created for the panel drawings, where it actually includes the entire configuration of wiring, circuits, controls, and every other aspect of final control panel. So good design should address the functional diagram, I/O diagram, power distribution, and control cabinet and back panel layout. And also it should include bill of material. So whenever if we want to replace or if we want to go for the purchase requisition, you can have that bill of material with you within this drawing available. Regulatory standards for the panel designing, that is NEC standard, National Electrical Code, developed in the America. Which is also known as National Fire Protection Association 70 number, similarly NFPA 79 and UL 508 and UL 60947. Actually UL 508 is replaced by UL 60947 now. So these are the standards, and for the detailing of the standards you can refer this blog here. What are the detailing of these standards and what is to be followed. But for now you can remember the three standards to regulate or standardize your panel drawing and specification. What are the design consideration for the industrial control panel that you should see, like say enclosures and space requirements, then wire sizing and components and control components and circuits, then supply conductor, then overcurrent protection, operator device, front panel and faceplates and final labeling. So this everything is to be covered in one good design of the industrial control panel. Next will be the plot plan, you say in instrument location plan, like that will tell you in entire plant which instrument is located where. So it doesn't talk about much more connectivity and all that, but it includes all instruments that interconnects with the other instrument, location of all instrument junction box, then underground cable and tubing, then primary locations and routing. That will be always reviewed to avoid future expansion or future change in the design. So this is very much important, like it's like a plan of one house where we say where is the drawing room, where will be the bedroom, and where will be the kitchen and how much area it will cover. Similarly, instrument location plans will be here used. Further installation details. So installation details tells you, like if you use one particular instrument or device, what is to be done. Like it gives you the idea, like it shows the manufacturing and piping methods and preferences when we talk about the instrumentation project, and it shows what pressure ratings are there, or what is the size and type of material required at the time of installation. So here I show you one example of say RTD for temperature measurement. We use this one popular device, analog device for the temperature measurement. So this way you might have seen many devices in your day-to-day life where installation diagram is given. If you talk about the installation of new air conditioner, then in that case also they provide one entire installation detail, like how a trained or authorized person should go for air conditioning installation. Here, further detailing of the RTD, like similar way, everything is given how 2-wire or 3-wire lead connections are made. So such installation details are always given with the entire plan or entire plan detailing or say even individual devices also. Some other special drawings are required, like say instrument tube support layout, then schematic control diagram or emergency shutdown system where actually they are and how it is to be operated. So that entire diagram is also required. Then instrument wiring details and alarm and shutdown list. So these are the special drawings and documents required in addition to what we have already discussed. The final one is purchase requisition. Purchase requisition is different than purchase order. Please keep in mind. So purchase requisition is generated by managers or employees that they need to make some purchase for say certain location of the plant. Say some temperature measuring devices are to be replaced, or say new installation is to be done, or say some electric motors are to be replaced. So that requisitions shall be sent to the department managers, and then they will look into this, and possibly it should take very less time because it is all about the operation of plant. And then it will go to finance team, and they will actually prepare the purchase order and will issue to the supplier and take the order done from the supplier, and that entire approach process is done. So purchase requisition is always different than the purchase order. Purchase requisition is the first step of the placing purchase order. So with this, we have seen different documents and drawings required for your instrumentation project, and a very vital part for the plant operations and one professional fellow who is working in the project management area. Here we stop. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you so much.